Order in the
Well,
court.
ask him your own question.
The Honorable Mr. Justice Jansen presiding. All right. You may be seated. The case of Regime versus Road. Thank you, clerk. All right. Crown, you last we were in this case, you had a witness to bring forward, and we discussed that we bring forward your witness and then follow up with the defense's final witness. Is this correct? So there is only one witness on each side to come forward. Still. You can please call forward your witness.
I'd like to call forward our first witness, Sandra Volsky.
Place your left hand here, raise your right. You swear that the evidence you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Sandra Volsky, SANDRAULSKSA.
Take a seat. Make sure you're staying into the microphone. Crown. Volsky. How old are you?
I'm 18.
And are you graduating?
No, I dropped out of school, 10th grade.
How long have you and David been in a relationship?
About last January, it got really serious. We moved in together.
So, where were you and David during the evening hours of July 14th?
We were at my apartment on Industrial Street.
What were you doing?
We were hanging out, listening to some tunes. We smoked a little bit of weed. He had a beer.
So, David was under the effects.
Yes.
He was not the most energetic person at the time.
Yes.
And when did Wally Road?
It's about 9. I want to say he knocked on the door.
Alright, and why'd you open it?
We have no people at my apartment, so I had to open it to figure out who it was.
Then what happened?
He opened up the door. He pushed me out of the way. He was yelling at David, telling him that something about his brother, and then David just laughed it off, said, "Hey, your brother was a junkie." And while I got really mad, turned off the cassette tape, held it over the ledge. He came after him and they started fighting, and he pushed Wally off the edge.
So, you saw Wally kill David.
Yes.
What happened then?
I screamed at him. I said, "You killed him. You killed David." And then I ran outside to his body. Then the police came.
Sorry for having to commit again. Thank you.
Yes.
From what I heard in your statement on the stand, you said that David tried to push Wally off the rail. That's what I heard.
You never said anything of the sort.
He said that David pushed Wally
This
that
woman
Wally
is
felt.
distraught, Miss Shaw, and you were harassing her.
Let the witness please answer the question. The witness be correct.
I apologize for mixing up the names. It's been a rough time, and I'm sorry. I'm really stressed.
Where were you when the police came?
I was outside with his body.
Really, because the original statement given to us by your lawyer states that you locked yourself in the bathroom. Do you know anything about this? It's signed by you.
I can't answer.
And what was the altercation between you and Wally?
What do you mean by altercation?
What happened when you opened the door?
He tried to get in and he pushed me out of the way.
Pushed you out of the way?
Yes.
All right. And do you remember what he was saying, David?
He was telling me, he was yelling at David, talking about his brother, that it's his fault that his brother's gone. He just shrugged it off and said your brother was a junkie.
And
Yeah.
who turned off the cassette tape?
Wally did.
Wally turned off the cassette tape. And from my understanding, that David did. But at that point, did Wally try and throw the cassette tape player over the rail?
He just held it there like he was, and after he held out this cassette tape over the ledge, he came after him, but of course he was under the influence. He wasn't
David
really
came after
running.
him?
Yes.
All right. And when he came after him, was he going towards the rails to get the cassette tape?
Yes, and then after he went to the railings, they got into a bit of physical and he threw him off the edge.
So what you're saying to me is that David got physical with Wally.
Well, got physical after he tried to grab this cassette tape off him.
But David rushed Wally, correct?
Not necessarily. He tried to grab the cassette tape, and then since he was holding onto it, he pushed him out of the way.
But what you're saying is that he ran up to Wally. Wally did not present
He ran up
himself a threat to David.
He ran up to grab the cassette tape.
And is it not easy to believe that Wally would have felt threatened by someone running up to him?
You could tell he was under the influence. He was dizzy, he wasn't running at a certain speed, and you could tell he was running through the cassette tape.
And were you also under the influence?
No, I just had a little bit of marijuana. He had decided to have a little bit of marijuana, and then he had a beer.
All right.
You should examine.
Your Honor, I'm a bit confused by what Ms. Shaw was saying. That what she got conflicted with what Ms. Wolski said. As you can see from our official signed witness statement that there are no inconsistencies that I can see.
I can present evidence of otherwise.
Goes to bench.
I also have the original statement, but this is the statement that was given to me by Julian Waldron himself.
The fonts are different.
Well then, that is your problem, since you gave them both to us.
I do not recall giving you that, Ms. Shaw.
This one was given to us by the police department when we requested, because we noticed that there were inconsistencies between the police report and the statement.
Ms. Shaw, I gave you that one. Do you have any evidence that I gave you this one?
We have evidence from the police department themselves, who records all of the statements that you must give us.
Could I have a police officer tell me this instead of your word, your opinion, Your Honor?
I'm looking at all three of these, and there's notary public who's actually gone and actually signed off on all three. So to me, they're all legalized documents.
I can call up a witness if you would like to.
I would just like to say, Your Honor, I believe Ms. Shaw has fabricated false evidence and accused us of
Thank you,
May I
counsel.
please call
Duly
up a police
noted.
officer?
We will do that in a second, so I just want to get this straightened out first, okay? So we have three pieces of evidence. All witness statements from the Crown Witness Center Wolski, and you're saying that they don't match up.
Yes, I do not recall this, and I believe they have
This was given to you by
fabricated it.
prosecution?
This was given to
Crown?
us by Julian Waldron himself.
I'm a little confused as to why there's different papers here. There should be one witness statement.
Yeah.
I can clear this up with one witness if you just believe it.
What
All right.
witness is this?
I'm gonna hold on to these papers for now,
Alright?
and we can decide we submit them for evidence after we hear testimony from your witness. Although I want to finish up with this witness first. So, Crown, do you want to continue on?
So, just one last time. David was heavily under the influence, wasn't very energetic, couldn't put up a fight.
Yes, it was obvious you could tell he had a beard. He was not.
And Wally was angry.
Yes.
Did Wally seem energetic?
Oh yeah, you could totally tell he wasn't under the influence of anything compared to David.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have submitted that as evidence?
Would you like to keep me? Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
don't really need it.
Thank you. Defense, did you wish to further examine? No. Okay. Thank you. Step down. Defense, you have a last witness to bring forward. Defense?
We'd like to call Wally Rogue up to the stand, please.
Okay. Sorry, is there a problem, counsel?
I have the witness that we were gonna bring up for the false document.
Is that
has
person
this
available?
been signed?
Yes.
Who is this person? Has Crown been able to identify who they are first, though?
I have not.
I'd like to bring up Officer Denoa to show you that the documents are in fact real documents.
Crown?
Has Denoa been notaried and signed, and does she have a written down witness statement that we could examine?
No, this is the problem. The defense are bringing forward witness that has not been actually verified by Crown. And I'm sorry, you cannot admit the person as evidence. Please continue on.
She's an officer of the law.
Correct, but they need a sworn statement that this Crown can look at first and go, actually have time to actually go through and actually be able to cross-examine. Do you have a sworn statement?
No. We do, however, have another set of witness, like another set of that statement, the original set, and why would we have a false statement if it wasn't given to us?
But is your witness, does she have a statement, is what we're asking?
She has access to all the original statements as she is an officer of the law.
But has she given a statement that we can examine?
She has not.
Then I believe the judge is saying that she can't be
I'm
admitted.
sorry, unless this person has been heard or deemed by the court to be a verifiable witness, I'm sorry we can't have her at this time. Did you want to admit these as evidence?
Yes, sir.
So, that's number 5. And we are referencing the fact that episodes 5 and 6 show that there's a discrepancy in the testimony given by Sandra Volsky on July 27th, 2018, 2017. And we'll those evidence for the jury to look at. All right. You have a witness to come forward, right?
We'd like to call Wally Rogue to the stand now.
Okay.
Do you swear that the evidence you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state your name, full name, and spell your last name for the record. Wally Rogue, E-R-O-E-U.
Make sure you speak into the microphone, please.
Now, Wally, the night you went to David's apartment, you had anything to drink?
Yeah. I was part of, bottle.
Part of it?
Yeah.
With your fiance?
Yeah.
And you discussed with her about what happened?
About Tommy and Tom was convicted and he's suffering in prison.
after dinner, you went to the apartment.
Yes.
And what was your intent for going over there?
I was going to talk him out of it to come forward about Tom being wrongfully convicted because it was David's fault for it.
And you wanted him to get Tom out of jail and get him to go for drugs for this.
Yes.
And in order for him to do that, he would have wanted me to be alive.
Yes.
So, when you arrived there, were you angry?
I was kind of upset, yeah.
A little bit upset?
Yep.
Your Honor, I'd like to continue questioning.
We do the examination with it.
Wally.
Aye.
What do you think there was?
I'm a high school teacher and a counselor.
Do you like what you do?
Yeah.
Did you say that it takes up a lot of your life?
Yeah.
And you just got recently engaged, to be honest.
Yes, I did.
And you love your fiance?
Yeah.
So it's easy to see how this man has everything to lose. And how in him going to help his brother, he meant only to get David to go forward to the police, in which he needed to be alive for. He has everything to lose by committing a crime. Why would anyone believe that this man could be willing to do it?
Mr. Brooke, can you go over what you said to Tom at the prison again, just once for me? What did you say about David?
I was saying that kids like that should be alive.
He'll be alive. And you'd already gone through the legal proceedings, right? So the law had already failed you.
Yes.
Mr. Brooke, you love your brother.
I do.
Of course you do. It's your little brother, you protect him, right? Now, I see they conveniently didn't really go over what happened in the apartment from Wally's view. Wally, could you go over what happened at the apartment with me again?
I went over to the apartment and I knocked on the door and then Sandra opened the door. And I was kind of upset and pushed the door because I was trying to talk to David. And I
Pushed her away?
not pushed the door and then because I was upset and then probably knocked Sandra out of the way. And the radio was super loud and I could smell marijuana and there was a beer bottle.
And then what happened?
I was saying how it was his fault for Tom being in jail.
And you turned off the radio?
Yes, by accident, bumped the table and it fell over.
Then where did you go after that?
I went to pick up the radio and he lost his temper. He seemed to rush me.
Who rushed you?
Yep.
Then what happened?
I backed away from I backed away onto the balcony because I felt threatened as he was rushing me. And then, yeah, he lunged at me when I was on the balcony. And I jumped the radio. He fell over the railing.
So he hit the railing?
He went over, yeah.
And he hit the railing and went over.
Yeah.
See, that conflicts with what the narrative Ms. Shaw was trying to construct of him attacking you and you getting physical. I'm just saying.
Objection,
So-
I never said anything like that.
You very plainly did.
I never said that they themselves had an altercation.
I mean, you did. You seem to suggest that it was self-defense, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I did not say it was self-defense.
Your Honor, may I continue with my question?
Yes, but we do not need you to be going and saying your opinion on what other counsels did. Stick with the facts.
I'm just pointing out that she was also trying to construct a narrative. Mr. Rowe. So, one last time. Hit the railing and went over.
Went over the balcony, yes.
Mr. Rowe, can you stand up, please? Now, Officer Lowe says that you and David are around the same height and weight. You point towards your belly button. Is that around where it is? Right.
additional statements to Paul Lowe. Objection.
Yes.
We put forward our statements for Paul Lowe as evidence. I take them back, please. They have evidence in them to suggest that Paul Lowe did say that Wally was much smaller than David.
Mr. Lowe already gave his.
It's in the original witness statement document and the one that they gave
You're
us.
meaning the one that you submitted to us yesterday?
The one
Yes,
that
sir.
you falsified?
The one that you falsified?
I never did anything.
So let's
Could I
get away from the accusations, please, counsel. 1 second. So you wish to have this taken, brought back to the one submitted as evidence?
Just to prove a point that what he's doing is only badgering my witness.
I think this is a fair account of actually showing demonstrations to the jury of
But
actual
he's
signs.
presenting
I'm fine
false
with that,
evidence.
counsel. Do you wish to take back the evidence though, and you want to use this as no longer as evidence?
I do want to use it as evidence. I just want to also show that Paul Lowe did say that Wally was much smaller.
Ms. Shaw,
Then-
Paul Lowe never said anything of the sort.
Read your own witness statements.
I am reading my own witness statements, Ms. Lowe.
Read the one you gave us.
I gave you the correct
You
one.
approach the bench.
It's the same as mine.
Go to the bench.
Your Honor, I would like to come here, please.
Counsel, could you point out the actual evidence you're looking at? Counsel, this is the bench. You respect my position tonight. So you can tell.
In this one, it says, I noticed he was somewhat smaller than Benning.
I'm sure we can find
All right, let's look at it.
It's signed by Paul Lowe on the second page.
So you're looking at evidence statement number 3,
Yes, sir.
and
It is in fact signed
please show me where you're talking about.
right here. Grove was nervous and agitated, and I noticed he was somewhat smaller than Benning. So therefore, your evidence is invalid.
Yes, but every other witness statement, correct witness statements, including what he said verbally to us, the court, states that they are the same size.
Mr. Waldron, with all due respect, if the document is signed by
Approach
your
the bench,
witness,
please.
That doesn't look like
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna allow a demonstration to go on, demonstrate the height of this witness. You can come back and use the clarify the testimony, the statement to say, for different statement. Okay, and then you can use it. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, sure, you remember what Paul Lowe said, correct? About them being the same height. So, Mr. Grove, let's resume what we were doing before that interruption. Point your belly button, please. That's roughly 25 inches. From what Paul Lowe said, that means that Mr. Benning's belly button would have also been 25 inches off the ground. Now, I procured professional advice from Mr. First, a respected professional in his field of physics.
Who is this person?
Mr. First.
First.
Yes. He works close with you in my purpose.
So you're bringing forward an expert witness?
Expert witness.
As
It's signed right there.
Objection. We were not given a witness statement for this, Mr. First.
correct. Again, we had a previous case of this, you need to bring forth this witness to have a witness statement that the other side can view first.
But I'm sure with any simple look, anybody who's expert in physics
I'm
would
sure-
know these simple physical laws which govern our reality. May I continue, Your
And
Honor?
I'm sure that any police officer
Which
would know what a
states-
document is real.
Here's what we're gonna do. You guys are going to, I'm gonna allow your testimony without expert testimony, so you can bring forth general facts on physics.
Yes,
If that's what you need in order to make your case.
that is the way.
But I will not expect or accept any testimony or evidence provided by an expert unless it's general knowledge.
No problem.
Thank you.
So, general knowledge that a man's center of gravity is located at his belly button. Also, general knowledge that if he was coming towards a railing, if the railing was underneath his center, if the railing was underneath his center of gravity, then sure, he would have fallen over exactly as he describes. But if the railing was above his center of gravity, he wouldn't have been able to fall over in the way they described. Now, Mr. Brogue's center of gravity is around 25 inches off the ground. From that, we can surmise that Mr. Benning's center of gravity was also 25 inches off the ground. Now, the IBC guidelines of guardrails is that they must be at a minimum 42 inches off the ground. That is above David Benning's center of gravity. So it's scientifically impossible for David Benning to have fallen over the railing unless there was some other force acting upon him.
Objection,
Someone who could have pushed David. Someone who perhaps he believed that David was responsible for the unjust punishment of a loved one.
Thank you, counsel. 1 second. Objection? What's the objection?
He states that they are guidelines, that they must be 42 inches. Mr. Waldron, do you have any proof that this is the actual height of the railing in the apartment itself?
We can go onto the IBC website right
Mr.
now and I
Waldron,
can show you.
Do you have any legally admissible evidence that the railing...
Yes, Ms. Shires, I do.
Height?
Counsel, please. Thank you. We can proclaim the guidelines. We can look at that and make sure it's verified. Sorry, how much?
42 inches off the ground. It is not a suggestion, it is the law.
Mr. Waldron, which
we
province
can
has you
verify-
said...
Are you a lawyer?
Sorry.
Are you familiar with the law?
Counsel, this is my courtroom, not yours. Thank you. I'm making a judgment here. So we will determine and find out. So I'll allow there to be time for research to be found on this.
My lord, just one more note.
Yeah.
What does IEC stand for, Mr. Waldron?
International Building Codes.
Okay. And we can see the building code does sustain, or it is for also for in landing gears. Sorry. Ontario. So we'll determine if that's the actual code that is standardized for balconies in Ontario. We are going to. At this point, we can't presume it's 42 inches unless you have actual verifiable evidence. If you can find me a document that shows that, and we can submit that to the jury to look at. But at this point, we can't actually say it's 42 unless there's actual evidence.
Could we have a short recess in order to get this evidence?
Yes, I can grant a 10-minute recess and allow counsel to gather the evidence and show us. Okay.
My lord?
Yes.
Just on the point of his general facts of physics, if one were to lunge, as is stated in Wally's statement, towards somebody else, would it not pitch your center of gravity forward and up?
No, Your Honor.
I'm not an expert in physics. I'm going to ask that you can provide evidence in the contrary, then you can go ahead and do that.
Absolutely.
Right, I'm ruling we're having a 10-minute recess, allowing both parties to gather evidence. Be in my chambers. All right. All rise.
Court adjourned.
Back in 10. So, you have evidence, and you have evidence. Refresh memory, you guys are bringing evidence in regard to?
In regard to the false statements that were given to us?
Right, so let's go there first. So,
All right.
let's go, could you please bring forward your evidence to me? And could you address the court, the juries, what you're bringing forward?
You have the evidence already, the unofficial statements that were given to us by the prosecuting
Inadmissible.
lawyers.
She has no evidence.
We have a statement from a police officer from the department saying that she looked over the statements that were given to us and looked them over with the statements that are in her police department.
Right.
And she noticed that there were discrepancies, and so she gave us the original documents so that we would have a set of original documents in order to go off of.
Okay. So you have a conflict with document number 3?
Yes, and Officer Paul Lowe's statement, so Dr. Number 2 and 3, and also we gave you Sandra Volke's statements.
Right.
And I think that's 5 and 6.
5 and 6, right. Clerk, do you have those? 5 and 6? 3, 2, and 1, you have 5 and 6. So you were saying that you wanted to do what here?
I want to strike both of these witnesses on the grounds that they signed 2 different documents saying 2 different sets of things. Therefore, they can't be admissible because they lie on.
So you want to strike out the testimony of Officer Paul Lowe and
of Sandra Volke.
Objection, all right. May I come forward? Yep.
I have 2 arguments against this. If you will allow me to speak without interruption. May I?
Give me address to the court. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
For one, she doesn't have any proof that we gave her these witness statements. You're going off her hearsay basically. Just is her word against mine, and both our words without any proof are meaningless.
Well,
secondly,
Counsel, let us speak.
you said they were both signed.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is that a signature? Or is that
Ladies
something
and gentlemen of
typed?
the jury.
1 second,
Is
1
that
second.
any- in any
Counsel,
way
come here,
personal?
please. Come here. We're not addressing the jury now. We're talking to you.
Is that typed?
Well, this is
Or-
the original statement, which is also typed.
May we see some of your statements, which are also typed?
Both of them are notarized. Meaning that they've been brought to a notary. They are legal documents.
There's no proof of this. You could
And
easily recreated it.
if you notice, our defense statements do look like these ones. All of the signatures line up. But do they on this one?
Faces are different. Way different. This one, they're right beside you, this one's not.
All right.
She falsified.
Mr. Walsh,
Here's
this
our-
is the original statement. This is the falsified statement. Therefore, you don't even know what you're talking
I'm
about.
not going to argue semantics on typos right now. When facing in the spirit of this case and trying to conduct justice here, what I'm looking for is actual testimony in the actual document that may conflict between the 2 statements. So is there a conflict? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And your sworn statement here is showing that which statement is true?
This one is the true statement, and this one is the one that was given to us.
Okay, so this is the one that's verified by the officer?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to call this officer into question.
We can bring the officer forward for testimony, absolutely. So why don't we do that? So this is going to be part of evidence 6A, and that'll be the officer's testimony towards the statement of correct evidence. Okay, so can we bring forward, counsel, thank you, have a seat. Okay, so defense, can you bring forward
We'd like to
your
call
witness?
forward Officer Danoa.
Okay, please come and swear in.
Do you swear that the evidence you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Ulrich Danoa, D-H-A-N-O-A.
Have a seat. Please speak in the microphone. Nice and loud.
Danoa, you spoke to my associate, Mrs. Shires, and she gave you this original document, did she not?
Number 6.
This is the one that we were given by the prosecution. She gave you this document, did she not?
Yes.
And when you looked at it, what did you see that was wrong? Would you like the original document for?
Between the two documents that I was given and the one that I have on record at the office, there's a discrepancy between the signatures and the format that the department uses.
And so, what did you do when you found out that we did have false documents?
I gave you the original.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
No. What was the discrepancy between?
There's a specific format that we use at the department that was not on the statement that she brought to me. We use a template that's always the same, the layout, the
What's the name
line.
of this template?
We don't use the name, it's just a document.
All right, and now, did Ms. Shaw, when she brought these to you, did she give you any proof that we gave them to her?
No, she just brought me a document that was given to her.
She just brought you a document, a falsified document, and just said, hey, give me the real one?
Objection, my lord.
Yes.
The documents are notarized and signed by the witness, therefore they are legally binding.
Sustain.
They're not notarized and signed. We already proved
Sorry,
that they're
counsel,
false.
counsel that are notarized, and we're taking this as a notarized signature on here.
But they're saying
And,
that they're
and
false.
proof of stamp on both of them.
Listen, no, how long have you been a police officer?
5 years?
What is the code? So, you've been a police officer for a while, so you know what entails in the job.
Yeah.
What is the code 414?
Don't know.
What's the code 516?
Sorry, counsel, what is the point of this?
That I'm not sure she's a real police officer.
Objection!
Sorry, I'm sorry, counsel. This is a police officer.
Can she show me her badge?
Objection, badgering my witness.
Sustain. This is a court of law. This is a law officer. They're a sworn law officer. They work at the office.
I would just like some simple evidence.
This has nothing to do with the case as far as I can tell.
As far as I can tell, it's everything to do with the case. She has falsified witness statements and is trying to get an imposter.
I don't think that this is an officer.
I think it
Law
is.
enforcement officers. We have a,
We
sorry,
have a badge?
no, overruled.
Any
Sorry.
kind of official. No, okay.
Sorry, counsel, stick to the facts of the case, please.
So, end of the line. You don't know whether or not Ms. Shaw falsified these.
I just know that it's false. I don't know who falsified.
Objection.
No further questions.
Thank you.
So, in a court case, both sides are supposed to give each other their witness statements, how it's correct?
Yes?
And we had witness statements, but not the correct ones, correct?
Yes.
And the Crown did not give us any other statements. So even
Objection.
if they did not give us these, we did not have statements from the Crown Counsel. So we had to get them from a police officer.
Objection, Your Honor. How do we know she didn't
Counsel?
just, how, we gave her the correct witness statements. How do we know she didn't just destroy them and then get another copy? We have shredders.
So what you're saying is the copy you gave was the testimony, but we have a situation where you have the witness signing off on both of them.
The witness did not sign off on one she made. I do not remember that. Do any of you remember signing off on two documents?
We look at, here's what we're looking at, chain of custody, right? So this testimony was taken in the police station, I presume, by when you brought in the people into the station.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the chain of custody, you had this witness on site. You took the statement. The statement was kept in police hands. Okay.
The department keeps records. That's what I took.
Okay, so chain of custody shows that the record that was produced that you gave us and talked about, this is actually within police hands the entire way through. Therefore, it never left, in terms of chain of custody, never left anyone as unofficial. And so therefore, I will have to say that is the official document. I'm not sure what happened. So I'm gonna take the one that you mentioned and verified by you as being the original document. This is a verifiable document based on chain of custody.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Did you wish to have any further questions?
I'd just like to clarify something. So the copy that she gave them, the copy that we have, the copy that we gave them, that is the correct one, not the false one.
The one that's been verified, evidence number 6, has been verified as being the legitimate copy through chain of custody.
Those are still applicable in this case.
Number 6 is yes. Number 6 is. Number 5 is deemed no longer evidence. I believe that's the same.
Objection, my lord, it's still a notarized document signed
This
by
one?
the witness. It's still, there's still.
We can't verify chain of custody, so I'm going to leave this out at the moment until chain of custody can be shown. Okay, this is the one that's been verified by a police officer, been taken in the station and kept in the station and given out and notified. Therefore, and by the law officer being shown to be kept in the station, therefore this is evidence. This one's being taken out and removed from evidence until it can be proven that it is part of chain of custody.
So our witness statements are still applicable?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, absolutely. Any further questioning on this witness?
Yes, sir. I just had a question, my lord,
Yes.
about Officer Lowe's statement. That's he's an officer of the law.
Yep.
His statement, both of them are also notarized and signed. Are they both
The
applicable
judgment's very
evidence?
clear, Ms. Stiles.
The testimony given on the stand is applicable by this officer. The
For
statements
both
given by
statements?
the Officer Paul Lowe, you got evidence 2 and 3. These are still in conflict. Has anyone brought forward any other showing chain of custody on these two?
No, sir, they're just both
Okay,
signed by
then
the
I'm going to
officer
submit. I'm
themselves.
going to provide both of these as documents at this point. Let jury decide for themselves which one is the true document and not. In the spirit of this case, we're going to let this go forward. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Do you have any further witnesses?
Yes, sir. Oh, I'd like to bring up Wally Brogue one more time.
Okay, please. And while you've already sworn in, correct? Yes. Okay.
I'd like you to restate your evidence for me with
The notarized one.
No,
the
the-
correct one that I gave
with
there.
the tape, the measuring tape. Please, could you show me
Oh.
again?
I'd just like to give the judge this official evidence
Yep.
of the International Building Code.
Thank you.
That-
So this evidence number 7. This is the official building code of Ontario.
Right, the international.
International.
You see right there that says apartment buildings or businesses are regulated under the International Building Code. The IBC requires 42-inch high guardrails.
Yeah, okay, this document does show that it is, that guardrail should be 42 inches, jury.
Yes.
Objection, my lord.
Yes,
If I may approach.
sure.
There is no proof here that this document is from the site itself. There is no signature, there is no web address. Therefore, how do we not know that this one is, if this one is falsified?
What we're going to do is we're going to verify, we can have court clerk, can we make sure this is actual official website? Okay, all right, you continue.
Now, I would like to point something out as well while I'm up here. Regardless of what statement was correct, whether
Sorry, who has the floor right now? It was,
she
defense.
called me up though.
To help in,
I just would like you to show your evidence again.
okay, so then Crown, you're not, you don't have any witness right now, you're just demonstrating?
And you're saying it's right here
30.
at 30 inches?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Crown, have a seat.
May I?
Defense, are you done with the witness?
I'd like to state that before, Julian Waldron did say that his belly button was at 24 inches, and now it is at 30 inches. Just for the,
Thank you. Crown?
I'd like to say that I said 24 inches, she said 30 inches. Secondly, I would like to say that whether, so we're not deciding.
Objection,
you did
Your
say
Honor.
30.
So,
We're not
all right,
deciding.
sorry, what, how, you're, my lord, you're
I-
trying to, what are you saying? The official measurement is what for you?
24.
24.
But either way,
Jury,
it's-
24 inches is stated by Crown. Okay?
And if you
Now,
agree,
I
look
would
at
like
the
to
evidence.
continue without
1 second. Do you have an objection?
Yes, my lord.
What's the objection?
When Miss Shaw said 30 inches, Mr. Waldron did agree to
He
the
did say
30
yes, 30 inches.
Can we check the minutes?
What did you want to check? You want to check to verify that you said it was 30 inches? If you
Yes.
wish to remeasure, I mean, I don't think we're going over round circles here, but if you're saying you verified measurement is 24, you're saying 30, we'll leave it a discrepancy.
Either
Can we-
way, 24 to
For
30.
the two people, can we actually have an actual verifiable amount? Can you stand up and reveal your belly button?
Something funny? Mr. Brook, this is very serious.
Where's your belly button? Right there. There we go. Thank you.
25.
25. Let the record show your belly button is 25 inches from the floor.
Now,
Okay. Please continue.
so the IBC guidelines regulate that apartment buildings must be at a minimum 42 inches high. Now, regardless of which statement is true, Ms. Shaw, the statement that she received, she claims that it says he is smaller than Mr. Brogue. So either way, he's still well under 42 inches.
Objection, the
Either
statement
way.
says that Brogue is smaller
Sorry, what's your
than,
objection?
the statement says that Brogue is smaller than Benning.
Can you point this out?
Yes, I can. May I approach the stand?
Yes, please, George.
It says right here that Paul Lowe himself noted that he, being Brogue, was somewhat smaller than Benning.
This isn't signed.
It is signed.
Where?
Right there.
It said, yeah, it's admitted evidence.
Did you copy that on?
No, it's admitted evidence.
It looks like she copied it on.
Counsel, Your Honor, it's admitted evidence. You may look, but this is admitted evidence.
Right there. Those are marks from a copier machine.
And it
The
was.
paper was folded
Yes.
there.
Do
And
you want the original document,
That's
sir?
the jury, sir.
That's jury evidence.
The original copy is here with us. The clerk has it. We verified that it's real. Don't worry about that part.
So what kind of case is this where we don't even know the victim's height?
Sorry, we're going to go with you. You can recall that the police officer and you want to get verifiable height, you may do so. But I warn you, the time after the court's running short here.
All right.
Are you done with this witness?
I am done.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Lowe, are David Benning and Wally Brogue the same height?
No, sorry, you must have the witness come to the bench.
I would like to call Paul Lowe up to the stand.
Okay.
Now, this witness statement will be
You can ask him about the witness statement.
all right. So, in your witness statement, you said that Wally Brogue and David Benning were the same height.
Yes.
And you never said that he was shorter.
No.
Okay.
And you can confirm that on the scene, they were the same height.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you're, one second, so you're stating your statement is different from your testimony here.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a question?
Go ahead, sir. Next.
So you're saying at the scene, you knew that Benning and Brogue were the same height?
Yes.
How could you tell when one was lying down and one was standing?
I was able to see him as I was walking up to the apartment, and I noticed that their bodies were approximately the same height and weight.
Alright, so why did you sign a document that clearly states that Brogue is smaller than Benning?
I never signed that document.
Honorary.
I never signed the document.
This document's been officially brought in by you as your sworn testimony, so you would have given this testimony some way.
You never did that. No, Your Honor. It's been forged.
It is clear to me that Paul Lowe is an officer of the law, and if he signed two documents, then him as an officer is,
Sorry, counsel, you can't bring in your opinion on this. You provide the facts. I will provide the evidence, the opinion.
but it is clear that his voice is the law. He is a police officer. Therefore, whatever is signed by him
Whatever is
is
said
the
by
law.
him, his voice.
Counsel, order.
Thank you.
Thank you. You wish to cross-examine or to re-examine?
Whatever is said by him, she said. His voice.
I said whatever
Verbally.
is signed by him as well.
You said said.
So
You
counsel,
said his voice.
all right, so what we got, we have two accounts by the officer. One verbal, indicating one account of height for both of the people involved, and a second on paper testimony showing that there was a discrepancy in height.
I'd also like to put
And
forward.
we'll leave it at that.
Your Honor.
Okay? I think we're going around in circles here and finding a point that has been made. Okay? So thank you, counsel. Please have a seat.
Your Honor. May I?
I don't, do you have anything more to add beyond that argument?
I have an idea of how we can solve this discrepancy. May I?
You can ask me. I'm not sure if I'm going to appeal. I'm fine with it.
Could we bring in the body of David Benning?
No,
What?
sorry, no.
Could we bring in any official documents, driver's license?
If it existed, but I don't see anything shown here, and in the spirit of the time we have left in court, no, we're going to say no.
Very well. Maybe we can close.
Yeah, let's have a seat. Thank you for your testimony, officer. Please have a seat. Can I have your closing arguments, please?
County Professor.
Go. All right, before we begin, jury, we've had the document verified by the clerk as being from a what's it called? Dex.com site, but this is not an official provincial Ontario site. There's no actually, there's not a provincial government site saying that I'm coding. So this is a commercial site, I believe, then. All right, close argument. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have multiple different sites that all correlate the same evidence of 42 inches.
Speak to the jury, please. They're your judges.
Now, God does not play dice with the universe. You ever said that? Albert Einstein, a little bit smarter than them.
Objection.
So, what are you objecting to? The physical laws which govern our reality?
Your opinion in the courtroom.
Yes.
Stick to the facts. Stick to your case.
Now, you're supposed to be.
Order in the court. Order, please.
You're supposed to be during her witness statement. During the recess, she said that during her witness statement, Mr. Beer was laughing. He is not taking this case seriously. And I noticed that when Mrs. Shaw, I'm doing my closing statements, you can't object. I noticed that when Mrs. Shaw was coming up,
We will continue the case, please, for closing argument.
when Mrs. Shaw was coming up to question Paul Lowe, she was also laughing. Little giggle. Now, the end is near, so I must ask you once more, judge and jury. Are you comfortable letting a killer walk free today? Someone who is capable of ending someone's life and feeling no shame or remorse. Someone who laughs when being asked to present basic evidence.
Objection, I'm not the one on trial here.
Counsel, Crown. We can close arguments tomorrow. All right, you are dismissed for the day, jury. We'll close arguments tomorrow.
Putting me on trial here.
Fine, I'll do it. All right. Look, you want to keep it authentic, right?
I know. Is he not attacking me now? The counsel has to help me out.
So.
That's slander.
If Julian was a superhero, your name would be the auditor.
Let's see now. Cool, I like that. Let's take a look. I got. Blocking, yeah. Yeah, that's nice.